welcome back to the channel. So this is going to be a pretty cool video, I think. I was incredibly lucky and I managed to get Negasonic Teenage Warhead as a 7-star. I looked at the arena grind and I thought I didn't really fancy it, so I opened 3 crystals in hopes of getting the 6-star, and I think it's safe to say that I solved that problem. So I do plan on doing a full showcase with her taking a bunch of different BG's fights and going fully in depth like my Adam, Warlock or Prowler videos, but in the meantime I do want to make this quick how to use her versus Bullseye guide. A little deep dive into the strategy, whether she needs to be awakened for it, and just go through that fight specifically. So I will say that this is based on about a dozen fights that I've done with her versus Bullseye, so I'm not a master yet, but I do think I have a handle on the fight. But by the time that I manage to rank 2 her and test her more against Bullseye and make that full guide, I will be more confident with that fight, more confident with her, so definitely keep an eye out for the full showcase. So first off, why does Negasonic work for Bullseye? So first of all, she reduces skill champions' bleed ability accuracy by 100%, so there's no annoying bleed through block or dex. Also, whenever the opponent counterattacks her, she evades and then stuns them, as you see against this Scorpion. She does have a cooldown on this, but against skill champions she just ignores it, so it allows her to do this, which is pretty cool. In my view, Bullseye isn't a gimme fight, not in the same way that Nimrod versus a Mutant or Torch versus a Mystic is. Negasonic doesn't really have to work against a Korg or a Tumor or Killmonger because of her non-contact and energy attacks, but for Bullseye specifically, there is kind of a way to do it, a way to manage the counter-attacks and a rotation for the method to work. And that's what I'm hoping to explain here in this video. So first up, I'm going to go through what I think is a near perfect management of a Bullseye. I might change my mind once I test more, and in which case I'll update on this in my full guide, but for now, let's go into it and I'll explain what I'm doing. I'll be pausing as we go along because there's a lot going on at each individual stage and I want to be able to explain that properly. So we start off with a heavy attack, and then as we build him up over this first bar of power, I'm going to let my light attack land outside of my passive stun, which lets Bullseye evade, and then I counterattack his evade and stun him again. After this, I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a medium, and then I'm going to pause and let some of my passive stun run out. Then I'll do a light attack and let that one land outside of the passive stun again, let Bullseye counterattack me again. So as we just watch this play on, I go in, I do my medium, I pause, and I let my light attack land outside. What I'm going to do now is I want to be able to push Bullseye up to the next bar of power, otherwise he'll have a chance to throw his L1. So after this counter attack where Killer Instinct has now run out, I'm going to use my passive stun to go in and do a medium into a light and do a full 5-hit combo. The passive stun is long enough to allow you to do that, and it's really useful. So we go in, do medium, light, medium, and then he evades again, allowing us to continue doing the medium, pause, and then go back in and do light attacks. So that's the end of the first management of his counter attacks. We are nowhere near taking him down, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to bait out this special 2. I'm going to dex back, let him throw it, and just a tip on dexing these 2 dagger throws, just dex them a little bit earlier than you think is actually necessary. It's a little bit weird like that. And next up, just here, the one thing that I've actually noticed that I didn't do perfectly is that I've let my Incinerate vulnerability fall off, which is applied with the heavy. I should have just stopped here, parried, heavied into my special 2, which would have given me a little bit more damage as we went forward. So assuming I did throw my heavy to apply that vulnerability, what I want to do now is throw my special 2. So we throw it, and then I tap my block a bunch to build up our Incinerates. We apply the Incinerates, and then I'm going to step back and I'm going to throw my Relic. I've saved it to now to stop him throwing his own special, allowing us to go back into this chain of the counterattacks. We push him above 3 bars of power, which gives us the last chain of Killer Instinct, and here is where I just mismanage it a little bit. On that last stun there, Killer Instinct had now gone away, so instead of doing my medium and then pause and then letting the light attacks, I should have gone in, I should have done medium straight away into a 5-hit combo, and then slow combo to my special 1 to allow the time for him to tick out. Instead I don't do that, and he managed to throw a special 3. The Incinerate vulnerability would have probably allowed us to finish out the fight as well, so there is that aspect. But overall, this is kind of the best example that I had of the way to take down Bullseye. By the time I make the full showcase, I am hoping to have a proper version of this fight. Next up, I just want to show an awakened Negasonic and highlight the difference. So, as you've seen previously, she doesn't actually need to be awakened in order to take Bullseye. She still counters him completely. So you do not need to feel annoyed if you've pulled a 7-star because you wanted that SIG. Additionally, bear in mind that mine is rank 1 in this video, so she is losing out on more damage there, and she's facing an Ascended Bullseye. However, and a huge thanks to my alliance mate Hot Fuzz here for recording this for me, the SIG does add a lot to her, which we'll showcase here. So the first thing is that counter attacks now pause the incinerates and the vulnerabilities like your light attacks do, and that is some very nice quality of life. It means that your upkeep during the counter attack phase is much easier. But the main thing for me is that the counter attacks now also inflict up to 3 incinerates, and that just adds so much damage. You can see here that Bullseye is already down to 50% even before the special 2, and Fuzz has 12 extra incinerates from 4 different counter attacks that I wouldn't have with a 7-star unduped. And although he took a special 1 on block and a blocked hit earlier, just look at that time score, 47 seconds, and I've seen faster versions. An alliance mate shared one of like a 38-second takedown. And bear in mind that this is an early read of the situation. We may find out stuff later on that changes our minds on this, but at the moment it looks like an Ascended Awakened 6-star is better for Bullseye specifically than the 7-star. What I will say though is that in her other target matchups like Core, Killmonger, Atuma, Zemo, Kingpin, basically the whole skill class except Nick Fury, I would much prefer the 7-star. Higher stats, more damage, higher challenger rating, just overall better for it. And then she has the bonus of being in the deck as a great Bullseye counter without the SIG. Once I do rank 2 mine, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting like 50 to 60 second fights consistently, and once you've mastered the rotation of taking him down, you can take him down with 100% health. So to finish off, I'm just going to show a video where I have a pretty good takedown of Bullseye, a full one. So far I don't have the perfect one. Like I said again, I'm going to be including the perfect one later on. I do make a couple of mistakes here, one where I don't medium and then do a 5-hit combo, allowing him to throw his special 2 a little bit early. I also used my relic a little bit early, not letting me throw it in order to stop him using his own special. I had an opportunity to heavy attack and reapply my Incinerate vulnerability. You see it's pretty close to falling off. And lastly, I used my own special 1 a little bit early at the end where I had some more room to use actual combos. But really, this is just an example of punching up and showing that even when you're not playing the fight perfectly, Negasonic is a very consistent counter to Bullseye, even unawakened. But yeah, that will do it for this one. I really like this champion. I'm going to have a hard time persuading myself not to rank 3 her at some point, as long as I continue to enjoy her as much as I am doing at the moment. We will see. If I do perform an upcoming Titan, then I guess that makes the decision for me. But thanks very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.